Hey gang, this morning, a cold, crisp morning. We are in Mendenhall, Mississippi. Where's Mendenhall, Mississippi? Well, you go to the northwest, you got Jackson. Just came out of McGee to the southeast. Anyway, small town here in Mississippi with a very small cemetery called Womack. Well, down here I think they pronounce it Womack. We learned that in Kentucky doing the story of the Womack little girl who was murdered. But we're here actually to visit the grave of a man named James H. Thompson. James H. Thompson. Now, only in Mississippi. This was the traveling man with the electric chair. Now, it turns out he was an ex-con. This is just before 1940. We're going to go back to 1940, just before World War II, for the U.S. entering the war. Of course, the war had already started in Europe. And he was an ex-con, and then he worked at a carnival. And he was like a hocus-pocus mystic guy. And somehow, and I'm trying to figure this out, he became, for 15 years, from 1940 to 1955, the state's official electric chair man, traveling. He had a silver truck. He would keep it in the truck. How he got this job, I don't know. Imagine he's in his garage for 2 years. I'm going to make an electric chair, and I'm going to take it on the road, and I'm going to make my own generator and my own switches and fuses, and it's going to be my own traveling Sparky. And that's what he did, and he got Mississippi to go along with it. He executed over 50 men, most of them black. I think there were mid-teens, so many whites, all convicted. But, you know, you picture it happen at the prison. It wouldn't happen at the prison. He'd go directly to the courthouse. And I believe it might be hours or days after the sentence. You know, you get your death sentence. No fooling around. No 30 years of continuances and appeals. Oh no, they right in the room next to or adjacent to the courtroom where you were convicted, you would be electrocuted. And this guy had some really interesting style and quotes. He said, imagine he's standing before these men, strapping them in and having conversations with them. There's a picture of him like staring close at the guy whose eyes are covered, and he's within 30 seconds to a minute of dying. And he almost had a whimsical approach to it. And he said, well, they were always comfortable with me because I was polite. And his big line was, they'd come in and they'd see him and he'd go, have a seat. And that's what he said, why they were so comfortable with him. Oh, man. But anyway, the cemetery's right here. There's probably 15 or 20 graves. There's not much to see. But old James H. Thompson is right up in the front. So we'll take a look at his grave, which is right here. And I'm going to have to hop up this wall, I think, so I don't get hit by any cars. All right, we made it with one step. Good. It's a good thing about being 6'5". So, James H. Thompson, he was a veteran of World War I, so you have to give him kudos. And you have to give him kudos for originality. And as you see here, we've got a grave with the concrete cover. We've got a footstone. And there it is, Jimmy Thompson. Yeah, he'd drive up to these courthouses in his silver painted truck. There's one story of when he went to Pike County Jail just before he dispatched his 14th client, who was a throat slasher named Sam Porter. As he sat him down, Jimmy looked down at him and he said, all young people should stay away from bad company. And within 5 seconds, he threw the switch. He would collect $100, that was his fee. He had I think he only got $90 out of it most of the time. And Typically after he did this, that night he would get drunk. And maybe that was his way of, I don't know, feeling better about it or getting it off his mind. Can you imagine having this all on your mind? He'd get drunk, and one time he was arrested. He had to post a $10 bond, which he forfeited, but he always said, hey, I just seem to have a talent for this sort of thing. Like I said, have a seat. All right, guys, that is the story from Wamak Historical Wamak Cemetery here in Mendenhall, Mississippi. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Rest in peace, James Thompson.